Hello, hello everyone, how's it going? Oh, that's my stream playlist. Welcome, welcome. We're starting a little early today because I have to end a little early today, so I'm like, but I still want the couple of hours. Had to go get an oil change, and like now was the only time that both Hubs and I were available, so car will be done about the time I need to quit stream and go. So I figured we could start a little bit early today and get going. Hey Devil Sniper, how's it going? Sturm, hello, hello. Let's go ahead and get this started. Let's see. And I forgot to check what our quests are. Hold on. Quests. Oh. I guess we're done. We did the quest last night. Excellent. Okay, so we can just throw whatever we want on the field. Perfect. Because I like the tank. Tank is very handy. Sorry, back connection issues. No worries. We're just getting our stream raiders started, that's all. Hey humanity, how's it going? How are y'all today? Wednesdays is a super chill stream, so we're like not even worried about anything. Except for the fact that I didn't fill up my water, so I'll have to take a break and go fill that up at some point. Okay. I am doing good. Had to start a little early because we're gonna have to end a little early. My hair's like doing some weird things today, so whatever. I have a like cowlick right here, and so my hair always wants to part this direction. And then like if I sleep on it wrong at all, and I took a shower last night, so I went to bed with wet hair. So that didn't help. So my hair's all kinds of like poof and weird today. Dragging by for the next couple hours till I get done at work and then home to help Hubs pack for a work trip. Ah, well that sounds fun. Have the house all to yourself, hopefully. That sounds good to me. I always tell Hubs, I can't miss you if you don't leave. Poof, yes. Hair is very poof today. Okay, so today we're going to be working on a few things. And there we go. Okay, so I asked Feather if they would like a project, and I set her on a mission to find something. Hey Ruby, how's it going? 10 kids beer back already, huh? And I sent her on a mission to find either plugin or to create some kind of game where we can help out the ISV server, right? So I'm gonna try and make these Wednesday streams not be completely taken over by things related to ISV. But sometimes it'll happen, especially when we're going to explore new plugins and things like that for ISV. It's a good time to do it. So, contemplating relaxing but the whole time, but I can clean all the things with no one in the way. I get that too. Yeah, I usually spend the first like 2 or 3 days when Hubs is gone on a work trip just doing absolutely nothing. I don't do the dishes, I don't clean the house, nothing. Nothing. And then like 3 hours before he gets home, I do like a massive deep clean. So I get that. Where was I? Plugins. So we have an entity problem on ISV right now. We have people just barely got spec, so there's not a whole lot of bases that have been well lit yet. And so everybody's loading their maximum possible entities right now, which combined with people building all their redstone machines and their farms and things like that, it is really affecting the server TPS. And so there's pretty much only a few things we can do at that point, and that is either to reduce the mob cap or we need to light up our bases so that there are fewer entities. The other thing is that we have a lot of entities that take a lot of tick, relatively speaking, to other entities. So, example, villagers take a lot more tick, and like sheep take a lot more tick than, say, a cow would, or a pig. Although pig takes more than a cow because a pig can possibly have a saddle on it. So we're going to do a server-wide game for entity hunting. So, and you might think, well, Rill, if you kill the sheeps and pigs, aren't they just going to respawn? Yes, but they will only respawn until the server hits its own passive mob cap. And they will only respawn, like, it only checks to see if it should spawn an entity every few minutes. And so by that time, if you're hunting entities out in the world, outside of your base, it's not likely to respawn any. And if you have like a cow crusher farm at your base, it's not going to spawn any more passive mobs at your base. Having real withdrawals. Welcome back, Ruby. I am doing okay. I forgot to refill my water before I started because I was kind of in a rush to start. Because I wasn't sure, I was like, okay, now's the time. Call the oil change place and say, you know, is the car going to be ready in the next like 30 minutes? No. Okay, I'm going to start stream early so that I can end early to go pick up the car before they close. So, started early. Bob, your wifey needs water. We'll see. He might be in a work meeting right now, so I don't know if he's even watching at the moment. So, anyway, cleaning up entities on ISV, but we want to make kind of a game out of it, you know, like if you have a village just outside your base, you've taken the villagers that you want into your base, but there's still a few villagers wandering around in their own little village just outside your base, go kill them. That's going to be the game, and you'll get points. So we want to try and find a way to track points via a plugin instead of like turning in heads, because mobs might not drop heads all the time. Yes, we could go in and tweak the data pack so that 100% of the time for the duration of this game they will drop a head. But there's also the problem of, you know, people cheating. We have to try and curb the cheating. So we don't want people building villager breeders and then just murdering all the villagers that come out of the breeder to get points, right? So we need to keep an eye on that as well as moderators, which we can do. We talked a little bit about Core Protect and its capabilities last week. And you can track, it tracks everything. So you can track deaths. So if I see that someone is like 50 points ahead of somebody else or whatever, I can go in and see, just double check their kills and see where they've been killing things, what they've been killing. Yeah, right, Sturm, that would be the other thing. That would be a lot of mob heads. Does ABK have some reference for how he adjusted the tab screen? When it was my game on season 5. Yeah, that's using the scoreboard feature. That's a vanilla feature. We had to turn it in we had to turn in shoes in order for it to count. Yeah. I think there was a secret command block. Oh, so we could adjust loot tables. That would be another option if this plugin doesn't work for us. We could change the loot tables so that instead of it dropping like a head 100% of the time, we leave that one alone. And we tell it to always drop a piece of paper. And then you could have people turn in that piece of paper. Piece of paper that says, you know, kill count certificate or certificate of kill authenticity or, you know, something like that. Just a renamed magical piece of paper. So much paper, really. Yeah, but at least we can just burn the paper, right? Once it's done. So what I'm hearing is I need to wait for the plugin to dismember and disassemble my breeder. Just kidding. It would just be for a week. Yeah, it'd be like a week, maybe 2. It wouldn't bypass manual mob farms. So yeah, that might break people's filters. Unless they have it properly set up where it has overflow protection. In other words, anything, if your farm fills up all the chests, it should be flowing into lava. Drop a poppy. There you go. We just had a poppy flower drive though, and that was, I don't remember if we met our goal or not. I know somebody posted about it while I was gone over the weekend. I think it was Tuner. I'm not positive. I think we did though. I haven't caught up on Discord yet. I've just been doing like one area at a time, catching up, and so I'm still getting there. I'm still behind on DMs too. Over 100,000, 126,000. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So this is the plugin that that Feather found. And so my first concern about it, because what I always look for is it updated for the version that we are using? It doesn't necessarily mean it won't work, because the spec that we used last season, /spec, that was made for 1.8 and has never been updated, but it has worked pretty well, just fine. The reason why we switched to a newer version is the newer version had a lot more features to it and a lot more like configurations and options for us. So that helped. Like restricting access to spec in the mining worlds. Something that we wanted to have. Because we did notice that a lot of people were using spec to find diamonds, structures, treasures, dungeons, things, you know, that it's not intended for you to be using it for. Like, originally, the only reason we were allowing spec to begin with was help lighting up bases, and so people could make videos. Because we had a lot of content creators on the server, and we still do. But early on, especially, almost everyone that was on was some kind of content creator. And so we actually allowed camera accounts onto the server for that purpose. That was season 4, and we did have them in season 5 as well, but as soon as spec became available, as soon as we found the plugin and installed it, we stopped allowing camera accounts. And especially in season 6, we were like, no camera accounts. There are too many people and we only have a 50-player cap, and we don't want people to get upset that people have 2 accounts logged in and there's people waiting to get into the server, you know? So only the moderators had cam accounts because we could log them in beyond the cap. Yeah, for mods to do mod stuff, yeah. Because sometimes I need to be in 2 places at once. Which is hard to do with 1 account. I still haven't migrated over my cam account. I really need to do that. I haven't needed to be, well, there's a couple times I've needed to be in 2 places at once and I just said, oh well, and dragged somebody else in to help me. And had them share their screen with me. Anyway, so I checked through the comments. I didn't see anything like that would make me go, ooh, we definitely shouldn't use this. My only concern here is that if it has files that don't follow the new file structure that came out in 1.18.2. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and download it. SK, huh? And then we're going to see if the server will take it, because I honestly don't know if it will take a .sk or if it will only do a .jar. So we're going to see. We're going to find out right now, live on stream. I did that. Ruby sus, no lotion cake for you. Oh yeah, that's another thing I need to catch up on. I need to look into all of the moderator applications. I haven't looked at any of them. Like, I know a whole bunch came in, and I glanced at them just to see names. Oh, yeah, these people. Know these people. But I haven't read everybody's applications yet, and I need to catch up on that. Especially since our deadline's coming up in a few days. Okay, so we're going into the file manager. We're going to go down here into the plugins folder. We are going to open our downloads folder. And we are going to drag and drop. Let's just upload. Now we're gonna drag and drop. I don't know if it's gonna know what to do with this. It's my first time doing an SK. Supreme Dictator has spoken. Our guides need to be used and maybe a little abused. I mean, they already are. Ruby is the first to die. I don't make the rules. Well, if you became a moderator, technically you would make the rules. You just have to get everybody to vote for them. Or you'll just be like me sometimes and implement something without getting approval. And it turns out to be one of the most popular things on the server. It's fine. Everybody likes killing time at the mall. I didn't even ask. I just installed it. Oops. Sometimes I just don't think things through. I get so caught up in the idea, like, this is gonna be hilarious, it's gonna be awesome, that I just do it and I don't think about it. Shh. It's fine. I totally had everybody's vote on that one. Totally. It's very vanilla. Mm-hmm. Yep. To be fair, I wasn't going to just like start announcing it to people and like bringing people over. It was going to be an Easter egg, like, and it still is. If someone doesn't show it to you, you might not know it's there, and so you could just stumble across it. But I think somebody did, because someone covered it over with a carpet. There has to be that missing carpet there, otherwise, I mean, I could expand where the portal is, but there's the fun in that. You want to fall through the snow. The yeeter was illegal. Yes, the yeeter is definitely illegal. Oh no, yeah, it'll totally be fine. I'll just let Impulse know, hey boss, I wanted to show you this cool floor pattern, and there's something awesome that happens if you stand in the very center. And then hold still. We'll have to prove to him that the floor is safe, fall-proof, before anything else. Found it by accident, trying to die. I was much confused. Sorry. Sorry. Alright, we're gonna go to console now that that's installed. And we're going to push the start button. And we're gonna watch our console to see if there are any warnings that pop up. Not seeing anything red, so that's good. Okay. I think we're good. Server is started and running. Excellent. Okay, so now we're gonna log back in. Oops. I have no idea how the kill counter thing works either. So we're gonna find out. I was shot with a fire arrow yesterday when I was trying to go on the eater and the snow melted. Jade jumped in behind me and died from the fall damage. Ah. Mega splat. Yes! We've been telling people don't shoot other people when they're in the eater, especially if you have a flame bow, because it will break everything. But yeah, that hasn't been helping. I'm getting tired of replacing that snow. After, like, we just need to keep, like, some buckets of snow down there because I am constantly repairing that. It's rather annoying. Okay. Oh, I just realized Firebot's off. Wake up, Firebot! Thank you. There we go. Okay, so let's see if it shows up in our plugins list. It does not, so I wonder if it's not going to work. Let's go over here. Dependencies. Ah, we missed that. Okay. Does have a 118 update. That's good.
I think I broke it!
I broke nothing yet. I just didn't read all the things. That happens. Oh, okay. To their official review now. Okay. So that should be right here. I'm gonna go ahead and download that now. We'll go back into our file manager. We'll go back in plugins. We're going to go find this and we're going to delete it. Delete. Okay. Now we're going to go upload. Back to our downloads folder, grab this. I probably will know what to do with that. Okay, now we're going to restart server again. And hopefully that'll load the new plugin this time. Saving up my points for a tarot card reading? Excellent! I love the sound that I used for it too. It's from Avatar: The Last Airbender because of course it is. We're gonna go while that boots up. Stream things. Sounds. Alerts. That one. Oh, you can't hear it. Drat. Bummer! You can't hear it. Because it's too quiet. But I can't adjust the sound because it will make my...
Your future is full of struggle and anguish. Most of it self-inflicted.
There you go. So that's what I'm excited about. I got so many things done over the weekend because I took a break and I was like, by Monday I was going crazy and I needed things to do. And so I was like, I'm gonna work on all the miscellaneous little to-dos in my to-do list, including adding a tarot card redemption. Which humanity had enough points for. So here we go. Did you guys hear that sound okay, or did it need to be louder? Please don't cover my base in cake. I don't have time to clean it up. Probably a little louder. Okay. Couldn't hear it at all, but I am also old. Fair enough. Alright, tarot draw. Edit. Events. Play sound. We're going to increase that a bit. Yeah. We're going to put that chat above it. Go, save, save. All right, we should be good. All right, humanity, pick a card. This one right here? Okay, we'll pick this one right here. Ooh. Ooh. That's a scary card. That means a lot of change is coming your way. So the Death card. It's not at the end of the tarot for a reason. It's at the middle of the tarot because it represents a transformation. It represents leaving the old ways behind and starting something completely new. Like, you need to leave whatever it is, whatever change is happening in your life, you need to leave it behind as if it is dead and gone. But I always say every bad news card comes with a message of hope, and with death, it is the lotus flower here. This is transformation. It reminds you of like the chakras. It reminds you about coming back into balance with yourself, returning to yourself. But it does mean absolute change that you cannot come back from. So there you go. You for mod. All of my draws have been ominous. Oh, I'm sorry, Hugh. Why? Don't think of it as ominous, but just as something that is going to happen, and whatever forces in the universe are trying to help prepare you for it. Leave being a guide behind, and rain is awesome mod. There you go. Yeah, this doesn't mean that it's a bad future. It just means change is coming. And that you need to step forward into it. You need to accept it. Okay. Thank you for that redemption, Hugh. I appreciate it. Let's see. Started up the server. And we go back, and we gotta go back in again. There we go. Okay, so now if we do /plugins, script. I think that's what that is. It is the kill counter. She's definitely going to swim in lava. I mean, that could also be a thing. Okay. So now we need to figure out how to use this thing. So that is back over here. Drop kill counter SK into the script folder. That's the next thing.
You wish to join the crusade
here. Feather, thank you so much for that gifted tier 1 sub to Ruby. I appreciate that. Ruby! Welcome back to No Ads Land. Okay. So we need to go over here. We need to go back to our file manager. Plugins, and there should now be a folder for script, which it is there. And then we need to drag and drop the thingy into here. Right? Ah. Nope, we still didn't do that right. Cancel. We need to go into the scripts folder. I wonder why it doesn't just come with it. That makes sense. Interesting. Okay, that should do it. Kill counter.sk. All right, and then we go back. SK reload kill counter in game. So now we're going to go here. Reload. Wow. Errors. Okay. So we're probably going to need to get into the configs, but it is reloaded now. 9 errors. Okay. And that's what worries me too, because this plugin is 1.16, it's probably not going to have any kind of support. Okay. So it looks like we need to add players' UUIDs. Not sure. That might make it a little more difficult to use as a plugin on a large server like ISV. Because if we have to add the UUID of every single player who might want to play, or we could do a sign-up sheet. Have to think about that one. Stream Raiders, here we go. Start the battle. So there has this skin on the server. Is this something that shows up in the tab screen or a box you need to toggle? I'm not sure. This is my first look at the plugin, so I've been meaning to do it for like weeks, but hadn't gotten around to it yet. Oh my gosh, Key Ninja, that is a gorgeous wolf. Ice Wolf War Beast. Pretty. Alright, grats Ashlu and Key Ninja on your extra stuff. We're gonna jump right into the next fight here. And we're gonna drop that there, and we'll see that screen again in 30. Yes, weeks. Yeah. So, command blocks would be much harder. I don't think you need a command block, but ABK was the one that set that up. Yeah, and I could go load up Season 5 and log in and see if all the command blocks are still there underneath your game, and see how he had that set up. Okay. Off to bed. Have a good night, Feather. Alright. That one. This one. So now I'm looking for like any kind of documentation that's going to tell us how to get this started. So right here, commands and pictures. Okay. Okay. Counter boards, death ratio, player kills death KR to anything. Okay. Okay. Kill stats. Put your own statistics. Okay, let's try this one then. Counter. Okay, so that just gives us a help menu. Okay. Version. I wonder if this is only PvP. I'm gonna poke around in the configs a little bit. If I can. Might not be able to. Because this is just language. Scripts doesn't have anything configurable, it's all SK. Config.sk, can I even open that? I can, okay. Versions. it's gonna check for a new version every restart, so that doesn't matter. Enable effects commands. If enable effects commands set to true, chat messages starting with the effects command token will be interpreted as effect and executed. Then character examples, heal player. Oh, I see. So you can allow certain commands to be used. Wow, that's kind of overpowered right there. Fancy. Katie, thank you so much for the epic berserker on the battlefield. Appreciate it. Might have taken them out because he was worried about people finding them. Looks like the scoreboard does require 2 command blocks, and I'm not sure how that works with such a large pool of players. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to find like a plugin, because we'd have to keep the command blocks at spawn as well to keep them loaded all the time. Which means then we'd have to create a station somewhere. Oh, but not if we used a token system like you did with the slippers. It wouldn't necessarily have to be loaded all the time. Do what now? I don't like things that say likely crashes the server. I mean, I like it because I kind of want to go, ooh, let's try it. But let's not. It's tempting though. I wonder what it does. It's so tempting, just because I'm curious. And it's my server. Yep, we don't want operators to use the command if it's not enabled. Could put it in the fall district, make a graveyard. True, we could do that. Player variable fix. True, whether to enable player variable fix if a player has joined. I always talk to myself when I'm working on configs and stuff because it helps me stay focused, so I'm sorry if I'm mumbling. This one makes no sense to me, so we're just leaving it at defaults. Whether to use a player's UID instead of their name, the variables. No, it's fine. Format's default, that's fine. Info's log, plugin verify. Oh, I see. So if if this were to start conflicting with another plugin, it's putting itself as the higher priority. That's kind of hilarious. But it's nice that it's configurable, so you can tell it, no, you're the lowest priority. I would rather set that to true. Be sensitive, disable variables. We do want that to show up in timings reports so we know whether or not it's affecting the server. Okay. So right now the database is disabled. I don't know if that's going to affect whether or not it can hold information, but we'll leave it because it's default. And so if we wanted to hook it up to a database, we'd have to put that information in, which may. That's more database stuff. Okay. Just gonna save and close. There was an error saving the file. Why? Probably because it doesn't know how to. Because it's an SK, not a YML. Well, if we cannot edit configs, and all of the configs are in SK, or if we cannot edit SKs, then unfortunately we're gonna have to scrap this plugin idea. We'll have to find something else. I mean, it looks like it would be pretty cool, but the one thing that I'm looking for as well is whether or not we can configure it to be counting mob kills. Because it seems to be like it's geared towards a PvP kill counter. So, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work for us. Dang it. Okay, well, that's all right. We shall either find something else or brainstorm another option. But from what I'm seeing from this plugin, and there's not much documentation at all, like it's pretty much just this, what is on their page. And then there's the GitHub, which is not much else. So, I mean, I might be able to troubleshoot it, get on their Discord and things like that, but honestly, I don't think it's worth the effort. Loot table might be your best option, yeah. I'll start brainstorming with the other mods and see what they think as well. Bummer. Okay, well, now that we know that though, it is time to remove plugins since it's not going to work for us. So we're gonna grab that and that. We're gonna delete. Yep, delete both of those. And then we're gonna go up to console. We're gonna restart. Nope. That closes so quickly. I'm used to watching the ISV server when it closes. It like the longest part of the restart process is it saving chunks just before it closes the server. It's like saving chunks ... That's like that takes forever. Guess people could cheat if they're renamed. Well, we can do NBT data items. That's why it takes so long. Yeah, because it's got to save everything that everybody did in the last 3 hours. Because we disabled the top of the hour saving because of the huge lag spike it was causing, and people were dying every single time. And so now the server saves every 3 hours at restart. Okay, we're good. All right, so I guess we're not testing a plugin today. Instead, we will be probably working on configs. Last week we had talked about setting up a Discord server and setting up Discord SRV, but I honestly don't know if I have the brain power for that today. I did start early today. That's okay, we were just exploring a plugin that we could possibly use to help with entity things on ISV, and we've now scrapped that idea. So, oh well, it was worth a shot. So, now we're just trying to decide what we're gonna do next. So, our options are, we could set up a Discord and play around with Discord SRV and stuff like that. But there are some things that we do with Discord SRV that I don't know the ins and outs of because Ken helped me set it up. And so he did like half the things that needed doing and I did the other half. And so it would also be kind of like an exploring learning experience. And then the other thing we can do is set up configs, because we haven't touched configs yet for this server at all. And we were supposed to do that 2 weeks ago, but we got sidetracked. I've updated my player skin if you want to go through Villager AI. Oh, that must be for Mare, I assume. Okay, so let's take a look at configs now. Check my notes from last stream. Oh, there was another thing we were gonna do while we're here today. But I need to check and see if I had actually installed it. File manager, that's where I'm going. Plugins. I did not install it. Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, so this is a plugin, like if you're going to run a server, a multiplayer server, and you're having issues with lag or you're concerned about lag or anything like that, usually this is what most multiplayer servers install and use if they're a paper server. This is called Chunky, and you run it, yes, she Chunky, hi Ken. You run it at the start of your server, like before you've opened it up to people, you run this program. So you can keep it or not after you're done with it. We're just gonna go ahead and drop it into our plugins folder. Downloads. Chunky. That's done. Restart the server again. There's, if you guys hadn't noticed, there's a lot of restarting the server. When you're first setting up a server, you install things, you make changes, you restart. You make more changes, you restart. Oops, I broke a thing, go back, restart. So, there's a lot of that goes on. So, what Chunky does is it preloads your world. So it's going to preload all of your chunks. So just as if you took your character and walked into every single chunk within your world border, that's what Chunky is going to do. So it's going to actually end up spamming console because it's going to say loading this chunk, now loading this chunk, now loading this chunk, and it's going to go through every single chunk in your world. And it'll give you a percentage as well. So depending on how large your world is and whether or not you're also going to run Chunky for the end and the nether and places like that, that will determine how long it's going to take. You can probably expect it to take like 3 hours for a 5,000 block world, so 10,000 block border total, which is a lot. It takes a little while. But once you've done that, you can actually, it's like super simple plugin. This is all the commands that you need. It's got you some copy paste things that you can do here to help. You can look at it there. It's all very straightforward. I was actually intimidated by it at first, and then I was like, oh, well, this is easy. So yes, it's very simple. So we're gonna hop in. We know our center of the world is like over here. We're going to set our world border. So let's just go ahead and set it at like, let's go ahead and set it at 5,000 blocks out. So we're gonna go world border, set 10,000. And that will set it there. So now let's go and check in spec to make sure it's there. So we go TP 5,000. 5,000. Might end up in a mountain, we'll see. Okay, so it is here. It's where we expected it to be. We are inside ground. Okay, perfect. We're going to MVTP back to the center of the world. So now that that's there, oh, server restart in 5 minutes. All right, we'll wait for that to happen before we run Chunky, because otherwise we'll have to tell Chunky to resume. You kind of want to leave Chunky alone, and you also don't want people exploring the world as Chunky is running. So that's why most people do this before they do anything else. So it helps. Honestly, I wish we could run Chunky when we do the mining world resets to preload the mining worlds. But, you know, it would extend our maintenance time by more hours. So unfortunately, we can't do that. Okay. So after our restart, what we're going to do is we're going to select the world first. So basic selection, we're going to go Chunky world. So we're saying Chunky, we're selecting a world, and the world's name is this. So for me, it's going to end up being Chunky world world, because that's the name of the world. Super simple. Most names of people's worlds are defaulted to world. So we'll select that world, and then you go Chunky world border. So it will say, okay, we're only going to match the radius of what we're going to load to the world border. So that's what we'll do next. And then we'll do Chunky start. And then we'll get started. And it will spam console. Okay, so while we wait for that... Oh, did it work? It did work, okay. I had set it up to say, like, server restart in 5 minutes, and I wasn't sure if it would work because I'd never used that with Bisect before. And so, it works! Yay! Working as intended. Okay, so now we're going to go back into our file manager, and we're going to start working on our configs. So there were some configs that we had kind of looked over. We had looked over like bucket and paper and spigot in our like very first session. I believe we had at least glanced over them. We're not going to do anything fiddling with world generation for this particular world. I might do it for future worlds, but not for this one. So we don't need to worry about running Chunky, because that's the other thing, is if you are going to mess with server seeds and world generation, you want to do that almost before you've even logged into the world. Like, you need to log in to generate the world files and then just log straight out, and then go make all your changes, and then log back in, run Chunky, and then you can start doing all the other things. Because it's going to pre-generate the world, so if you want that generation to have the changes that you want, then you need to do that first. Okay, so we're going to look at our plugins configs today. We're just going to go through them one at a time. We're not going to bother with bstats or Chunky, because those are like fairly simple things. This is a supportive plugin that's needed by most of the other things we have installed. We are going to look at Core Protect though. So all plugins should have some kind of config file, unless they're so basic that it doesn't even have its own folder. It's just a jar file, in which case, leave it alone. So we're going to look at the config file here. We're going to go ahead and edit it straight from here. If you have a donation key, if you have donated to them, you can paste it here and they will notify you when there is, because like donators get updates before anybody else. So they'll notify you if there is an update for Core Protect. I do have a donation key. I'm not going to plug it in right now. I'll plug it in later. They have a Patreon, and you get more updates, and you get access to their Patreon section and Discord and stuff like that, which is very helpful. They're usually more responsive to their patrons if you're running into issues with anything. Okay, so we want it to check for updates and let us know if it needs to be updated. So that will spit out in game. So when you log in for the first time, if you are a server, not for the first time, if you log in and you are a server operator, it will tell you in your chat, hey, this update is out of date. That's what that's about. or this update, this plugin is out of date. This is helpful right here. So if you don't put a radius, sometimes it will just assume that the radius is 10. 100 as the radius was fine previous to Caves and Cliffs. It is not fine now. It is not sufficient now. So I usually up that now to like 200. So when you're putting in a specific radius, it will have a maximum area that it will search. And so 100 blocks doesn't quite cut it anymore the way it used to. And so 200 blocks is more accurate if you're just searching like a specific area. Here you can tell it, you know, whether or not you want it to be able to roll back certain things, stuff like that. You can really like fine tune it here. I usually leave most of the things default except for that maximum radius. So it tracks everything, but you can tell it, no, don't track this stuff. Like we can tell it not to track leaf decay. But that does mean if we rolled back an area where someone had chopped down trees, then only the trunks will be there. There will be no leaves. But it also, you know, this is kind of a lag thing too. Like, if you don't care if the tree is put back exactly the way it was, then you can tell it, no, don't track leaf decay, because that's one less thing that it'll have to track. There is lag involved with it. But this is also part of the reason why we chose to add the leaf decay plugin to the server, because then it just tracks this all quickly instead of lagging out the server for a period of time while the leaves decide to decay. So that's amazing. This area is pristine, just has dead trees. Yep. Yep. Let's see. Alright, cool. Save and close. That was easy enough. Which, you know, generally is. I usually leave on all the defaults, because why wouldn't you want to track everything if you can? Custom wings. This is not a plugin that I've played a whole lot with yet, but I'm excited to play more with it. Because it looks really cool. Not something we would ever, like, do on a massively multiplayer server, but like if we had a smaller server, oh yeah, I think it would be fantastic. You just have to warn people, you know, this is a particle effects thing, so if your computer is laggy, you might want to turn down your particle effects. But that also means they won't see your wings. Okay. So if you wanted to change, so in order to get the wings in-game, you'd have to type /custom wings or /wings or /CW or /W. If you wanted to change any of those aliases to something else, you can do that. Or if you don't want people to use W or CW because another plugin is using that. This is why it's important to check your configs, especially if you're running a lot of plugins, to make sure there aren't conflicts like this. Because let's say we had another plugin that uses CW or W. Like, I know that Essentials lets you use the chat /W for /whisper to talk to somebody. And so we would want to remove this from here so that there is no conflict between our plugins. Like, either one or the other gets it, but not both. So, that way they're not arguing and causing more lag. You can set the view distance, so if you want to be able to see people's wings from further away. And then if people have a, like, particle trail that's coming off of their wings, I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. Yep, similar. Okay. Potion. Ooh, you can make it so the invis potions do or don't hide your wings. That's hilarious. Okay, so looks like there is more options here. I think I'm okay with leaving all of the defaults, though I don't see anything obvious other than making sure that our command aliases are not going to conflict. So we're just going to save and close. Didn't really make any changes. So here's another folder in here called Wings. This is where you can make your own wings. Like I've showed you guys some of the wings, right? Should we do that real quick? We'll get in here, we'll run Chunky, and then we'll show you guys some of the wings. Okay, so we're going to do Chunky World and then Chunky World Worker. Oopsies, wrong thing. There. Slash Chunky World. And then slash Chunky World Border. Okay, we're good. And then slash Chunky Start. Task started in World 4 Square region, centered at 00 with radius of 5,000. Perfect. You can tell it pause and cancel as well if you need to stop it. But as you can see here, we're going to jump into our console. Here is the spam that we will now get in console. Processing this many chunks, we're this percentage done. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect with Chunky. So that's going to go for a while. We'll play with things in the meantime. Okay, back here, plugins, we were in custom wings, under wings. So we go custom wings. That will bring up our wing selector menu, which is kind of cool. And then it says you don't own any of these wings. I haven't dug into it enough to see how do I own them. But this at least lets me pick them because I am a server op. So this is the Bloodhound wings, which I think are super cool. They disappear when you move, they come back when you stop. And the same goes for flight. Poop. That real quick. Get the battle started. Right, Ruby? It's so cool. We'll show you some more right after this battle. Gotta do the things and fight the people. Arrgh. Get him! Awesome. GG's! Good job, everybody. Congrats, Sturm and Milan, on your extra stuff. We're gonna collect these real quick. And we're going to jump into the next fight, which is a boss battle. So appreciate the help, all the help that we can get. Go start up right there, and we'll see that screen again in 30. Okay, so these ones, the Soul Shadow Wings, are my favorite because they flap. They're flapping? Oh my gosh! It's my favoriteest thing. Your guys died. Oh, I'm sorry, Sturm. They flap. They're so cool. And then we have, I guess that's example wings. I never looked at example wings before. Frost wings. These are kind of cool. They don't flap, but they're poofy. Angel wings are kind of cool, but they have a long trail. Look at that. All the way down to the ground. Oh, it's still going. There we go. I think. They're like waterfall-y. So, I think that was it. You just remove wings to disable them as well. So, okay. So that is our basic wings. Now I know that you can create wings in here. So they give you this example to show you how to create the wings. And you can also look at the other ones too. So this is the icon. They say use you know, this icon to show which wings these are. And then this is the starting height of the wing, starting from the player, can be negative. Offset, like you can set all of this up, and then this is the shape of what the wing looks like, the particle layout. Isn't that cool? So if anybody wants this file, let me know. I'll send it to you. If you want to like try and create your own wings, I'll totally upload it and see if it works. If someone wants to play around with that. I can send you the example config file, and I can send you, let's say, the Soul Shadow one. That's the one that is animated. So you can see what it looks like when it's complete. So you'll have to look up particle effects to know what to call it if you're looking for a specific like type of particle effect. But yeah, it is super cool. So this is something I'm excited to look more into, because I think it would be really cool to be able to... Can you imagine just having something like, it's like the /hat command, but it's, you know, let's just get some wings. Oh, it'd be so cool. But I really don't see it happening on like a super large server just because particle lag is real. Can you imagine having like, I don't know, 50, 60, 100 people all gathered at spawn when Impulse logs in? All with our wings on? You gonna create some paladin wings, right? If I have time, if I can find time, that would be really fun to just sit there and fiddle with that. That would break the server. Well, it's not the server that would be the problem, it would be the clients. Everybody's clients would crash because so many particles. The server would be fine. If I got that, I'd never be heard from again. So many wing designs. Okay, so Merida would like wings. I am serious though. Eventually I am going to be starting a Patreon server for myself. I am going to have wings on it. I'm just saying it now. I love it too much not to have it. You will, because mandated monthly break, remember? Oh, that's true. Mandated monthly break by Supreme Dictator. Hey, if I have to do that, then all the mods have to do that. You hear that, Ken? Supreme Dictator says that all the mods have to take a mandated monthly break. Looks like I'm joining another server. Yes, indeed. I want to do like a lot of fun things with my server, so that's kind of why I'm exploring more plugins and stuff too. Because having my own server is a lot more freedom than working with any other community servers, because it's my choice. I get to choose things, and I don't have to be like trying to keep it within the standards of that particular server. Like in the case of ISV, trying to keep it as vanilla as possible, so it's like vanilla plus but with multiplayer. My MC, my choice. Not listening to no stinking dictator. You tell her, Ken. Preferably over there. I'm gonna run this way. I'm gonna call your hubby. Now that's playing dirty. If we all put it in the feedback form, they have to listen to us. Mer says, I'll make Ken take a break. I'll make Ken a break box like Ashley's. What is a break box? What did I miss? If this happened on a Sunday, I usually miss like all the Sunday streams. Okay, Info HUD is another thing that can be configured, so if you want it to show a different color depending on what biome you are in, you can change that. I'm going to leave it defaults for now, but this is how and where you do that. So it will also list here the UUID of every player that currently has the config enabled and what settings they have enabled. And the reason they list it in here is if something happens and this for some reason is crashing that player, we can go into the config and either remove or disable so that they can log back in and get whatever conflict they've got resolved. So, I saw it. Break time corner. I had Oz help me do the redstone for. I did see it? Oh, okay. Okay, I remember now. I just had to access the memory. We need a Kit Kat plugin that when handed to a mod, it kicks them from the server. So would it be called a Kit Kat or a Kick Cat? It's a Kick Cat. Mod sacrifice. Hey now. Okay, so that is for Info HUD. Libs disguises, I don't know anything about. I'm just gonna poke and see what's in here. Ooh, configs. Ooh, lots of configs. Okay, cool. This is a support plugin for another plugin. So I don't want to mess with it too much right now until I know more. But this is for the Morphe plugin. So let's go back to the server. So this is what we used on the event server, where it morphs me into something else. Like I can morph into a salmon. And now I am a salmon. Hey, I'm a fish. And then you could just go unmorph. Yeah. That is so loud. Why is that so loud? I have most of my sounds turned like way down. That's fishy hacks, right? And then you can morph into the Ender Dragon. But the thing is I can't see myself when I'm morphed into anything bigger than myself, but if there was someone else on the server, they would see that I am now the Ender Dragon, and I can fly around. When you press shift, it makes dragon sounds. Let's disable the info HUD. See? There we go. That way you guys can see whatever it was that was flashing there. There we go. Morph power. So you can only fly so long as the Ender Dragon, then it forces you to land as soon as that bar runs out. And there are some other things like that too, but for the most part, that's that. Can you shoot fireballs? I can with a command. Otherwise, no. I can fight people regularly. And so I just add, like, when I was the Ender Dragon in the second event, I just had a regular sword with knockback on it, like knockback, I don't know, whatever it was, 5. It would just knock people back. And then I was just copy pasting a command that would shoot a fireball. Have another mod dragon to kill, right? And then there was the other one, so unmorph or giant. This one would have me as a zombie giant. And see how slow I walk? We had to give ourselves speed just to be able to walk somewhat normally, because we're this like big giant thing. And whatever armor we were wearing would show up on the giant too, and that was fun. But this is like from my perspective. And I can't fly because, you know, zombies can't fly. Yeah. So this needs that plugin Libs Disguise in order to be able to work. So that's why that's there. That's why I haven't touched it. But we can poke around in it. We can just be like, what is this? So skins. Oh, readme file. That's it. We'll have to download some of these readmes and see what they're all about. Disguise option parameters, huh? Let's see what that's about. Oh, so it has more
You wish to join the crusade?
options, but you would probably have to download texture packs for the server. Hey, Cal! 23 months at tier 1. Thank you so much, Cal. You are amazing. Almost there. Almost at your 2-year mark. I really appreciate you. So interesting. So we could have other options as long as we had the like texture packs and stuff involved. That would be really cool. I can do it. Let's see. Let's look in the configs. Oh, so you can make it so that you can't fight people if you are currently disguised. That's interesting. That would make for a fascinating game of like hide and seek. Do you remember when the mods and stewards were able to play that game Core with Impulse? And there was that one game that we played where you had hunters and you had hiders and you got to disguise yourself as inanimate objects, and like we could totally do that with this plugin. We could totally do that with this plugin where you just have, I mean, because that's essentially what we did in some of the levels, like Juji's level on the event server. He turned himself into a cow and we spawned a bunch of cows in everywhere, and so he just trying to blend in with the cows until we gave him glowing. Yes, Impulse was a coffee cup and broke you. Yeah, Cal could not kill Impulse because he was a cute little coffee cup and is just fleeing for his life. She had a giggle fit over it. Glowing cow. Alright, this is going on my ideas list over here. Hide and seek, hunter, hunted, using the Morphe plugin. That is actually something that I could probably add to a multiverse. So on my patron server, I could have a minigame area that's in a separate multiverse where the Morphe plugin only works if you are in that multiverse world. But you'll be able to use it while you're in that world. You just can't use it outside of the world. That's something I really want to do with my patron servers. I want to try and stretch the limits and see what its full capabilities are. Because I'll bet you I could use one server using Multiverse and Luckperms and all that, and I can have a plot world where you have a completely separate inventory when you walk into that world, and then you return to your survival inventory when you walk out of that world. That would be super cool. Where you can use world edit while you're in that world, but you can't when you walk out of the world. And then mods could very easily, like if you're like, hey, I'm not sure what to do with this part of my base, could a moderator or a staff member copy paste this into the plot world for me so that I can fiddle with it in creative? Easily. We can do that easily. That would be kind of cool. And then you have a completely separate world where you can just go play hide and seek using Morphe with friends. Cal says it was the Scream that did it. I need to go back and watch that video again. I know, right? Send me the link because I want to watch it again too, because that was funny. That's what I want to do with my patron server though. I want to like stretch the limits of the plugins that we use and see just how far we can go with them. How detailed we can get with them. I mean, because there's an advantage to having a separate creative server from your survival server, because then any laggy things that happen on one are not going to affect the other. But there are also like plugins and stuff like that that are being developed out there and that have been developed, like Bungie and Waterfall and Velocity, that when you walk into a world, it sends you to a completely different server. Like, it can do that. So it could be that the lag can be separated out still, and you still technically only logged in to one server. It's just the security of that I don't know much about. I'm excited. Now I'm excited. I want to do things. Okay, so we're not gonna mess too much with that one. We'll probably take a look at it and see if it has like a wiki or something like that later. Oh no, not leaky Bungie, right? Yeah, I've heard that Velocity is a lot better than Bungie as far as security is concerned, so we'll see. I've been talking with Goo a lot, and he does like network security type stuff, and is very good at it. So, I think if we can get like a collaborative effort, we could figure out, because like, okay, Bungie. It's used by a lot of servers out there who don't have problems, right? They don't get hacked like the way ISV got hacked last year. Hackening, yeah, I know. So to me, that says we're doing something wrong. Like we're missing a key piece of information somewhere to keep it safe and secure. That doesn't mean like a super determined person might not eventually get in, but hopefully people aren't really that determined to go after this one little thing. He was the one that left Busty's server open to attack? What do you mean, Ken? Because I'm hoping, like, if this person knows stuff, and this person knows stuff, and this person knows stuff, and we can all, like, come together, then we all know all the things. Even if that person was missing a piece of information, this person over here had it. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. Oh, that sucks, Ken. Oof. That really sucks. That is a bummer. Lost a few days of work. Ugh. Man. Wait, was that Goo or was that Herod? Because I thought Herod runs Busty's server. And Goo's just a mod there. I mean, regardless, it was Goo. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him about it and see if he found out what the vulnerability was and plugged it up. Alright. I'll ask, because, like, when something happens, when a mistake happens, I don't generally, like, sure, there's that moment of, like, oh, dang it, so frustrated, why did this happen, and, you know, you were in charge of doing the thing, or whatever. But I get over that, like, super quickly, because I'm more interested in fixing the problem than in playing the blame game, if you know what I mean. Like, I'll ask people, hey, what happened? With the intent of, oh, okay, we identified the problem. Is it fixed? Or do you need help? Or what do we need to do here to get this resolved? Turned off the available for hacking switch. I'm not a guide on that server. Yeah. Okay, I'll ask him. I'm kind of curious. I would like to know, like, the Bungie Velocity stuff, like, intimidates the heck out of me. And when something intimidates the heck out of me, I stare at it like I'm really nervous about it for about a month or two. But then I dive into it. And I'm like, okay, let's learn this thing. So, if I only find it a little intimidating, I usually can dive in right away and get to know it so that I find it less intimidating. Because knowledge defeats fear. So, that's how I fight fear. You need to do the same for Overwatch 2? I signed up for the beta, and I don't think I ever got in. I haven't checked in like a week, but that's okay. I don't mind playing the game when it's out. Support got no upgrades, really? Oh, that's a bummer. I like playing support. Maybe I'll just become a Sombra main. Okay, Luckperms is another thing I don't generally poke around too much. It's fairly straightforward. There are some like security settings in here, but all of them are pretty good at defaults, and so leave it alone. No touchy, especially if you don't understand what it's doing. Don't touch it. But basically, Luckperms, there it is. If you want to go through and look through all of them, that's fine. I leave them at defaults because no touchy. No touchy rule. Other than to go through and check to see if it's conflicting with anything else. But since we don't have any other permissions controlling plugins, there should be no conflicts. No touchy, great plugin. Exactly. Honestly, I think it's one of the best plugins out there. I've actually looked at other permissions plugins, and this one has it all. Like, and they're continuously updating. And look, let's just go look at their website. They actually have a full website. It's not just like a wiki or GitHub or anything like that. They have their own website. That is always a good sign. They have their own wiki. Just look how much information is here to figure out how to do all the things. And they even have like articles for beginners and things like that. Like, if you have never worked with permissions before, getting started right here will teach you the concept of permissions and teach you how to use the commands and things like that. It's good stuff. Very helpful. Like here, how to get help. Their Discord server is awesome. I have never actually had to ask for help on their Discord because I can just search for what I'm looking for and they've already helped someone else fix the issue. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that fixed my issue. Thank you. They don't even know how much they've helped me because I've never posted anything on their Discord because I can always search and find what I'm looking for. FAQ, how-to section, like, it's awesome. Anyway, singing its praises. We've got Morphe right here as well if we wanted to check into that. You can turn off the sounds. The morphing sound. Yes, let's turn that off because that's noisy. And let's turn that off as well. Ooh. Possibly buggy, but if I could morph into another player, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. And see, this part is a little buggy too, because I can't always see my own disguise. I can see it if it's smaller than me, but not if it's larger than me. Ignore mobs when morphed, so when you're morphed, other mobs will ignore you. That's hilarious. That would be a way to sneak through an area full of mobs, right? Hubs is almost done installing flooring, which means buying trim this weekend and then moving into our grown-up room. Yay! GG, Ruby! Yeah, this is the Morphe plugin. So apparently it might be a thing. I'll bet you it uses the server's player cache, the data for player data. So I'll bet you it wouldn't work for me right now, but when I have other people log into the server, I'll bet you I could morph into them. So we could say right here, this is what I'm looking for. So I could create a hide and seek multiverse world, add that to this list and remove all these others. And that would make it so that you can only use Morphe when you are in that particular world. This is why plugins are important. But then we also lock it behind Luckperms saying you can only use these Morphe commands in the context of being in the hide and seek world. So we would want to do things like this. If you're playing hide and seek and only one person is morphed, or or maybe 2 or 3 people are morphed. So if you had a group hide and seek where you have to find 4 cows in the herd, and so you've got 6 people, 4 cows, but you only have to kill one to kill them all, essentially. So, or you only have to fight one to get rid of the disguise, or kill one to get rid of the disguises of the rest, or something like that. You can set this so that when somebody who is morphed dies, everybody unmorphs. Interesting. Oh, so if you log out morphed, you can log back in morphed. That's good. So if somebody disconnects, they'll reconnect and they're still morphed. Trying to think of like use cases, like how would these configs be used, you know? Okay, just gonna leave that. Back. That was Morphe. Okay, Multiverse is one that doesn't usually need a whole lot of configs unless you are working on like combating lag. So this is fairly easy. If you override true. All right, so all of this is fair enough. So right here, portal search radius, that's usually left to defaults, but if you want to fiddle with your nether portals to make it so that they don't look so far to connect to other nether portals, you can squish that down. So right now, when you create a portal in the overworld or the nether, it's going to search on the other side in a 128 block radius for another portal to connect to. If it doesn't find one, then it will create a new one. So you can fiddle with that. We don't on ISV. It's not a good idea. Not unless you're absolutely certain you know what you're doing. You would also probably want to get the Multiverse Nether Portals plugin to help with all of that, because that will actually let you have portals that connect to different dimensions too. So if you wanted to make it so that all nether portals, instead of going to the nether, they'll only go to a multiverse world that is your hubway, for example. So you create a hubway nether instead of a subway, it's a hubway. And you want all nether portals to connect there. That's where you would need the Multiverse Nether Portals plugin. But you could do that and then make it so that people can only enter like a mining nether or something like that. Just finished up writing up the Disney trip post, going out to staff today, then out to the community later. Yay! I'm glad to hear that. That is awesome. Okay. Start to battle. We'll see how this goes. Uh-oh, I don't think we quite have enough people on the field of battle. We couldn't quite defeat that boss. He's still half health. And we still have all these guys. Alright, that's okay. We'll try again. Smack. Rude. Alright, at least we got a little bit of gold. We're gonna keep playing. We're gonna try that again. Appreciate all the help that we can get on that one. Once more. And back to here. Okay, so in your multiverse configs, this is where we would make the most changes. So this is where you can set some of your things, like whether or not there's hunger, whether or not people will auto heal, whether or not you can adjust where the spawn is, whether or not you allow portals to be formed. So if you're going to allow people to create nether portals or end portals or anything like that, if you're doing like a creative plot world, you would want to probably disable these. What you want the game mode to be for that particular world. So you want people to be in the survival world, but if they go into the creative plot world, you want them to be able to be in creative. And so it would force that game mode change. The thing you have to be careful with that is this will apply to people in spectator. So if you allow people to spectate into the plot world, it will force them into survival when they arrive. Or they'll force them into creative when they arrive. They won't still be in spectator. So you kind of have to decide how you're going to handle these kinds of situations. Like, is it going to force game modes or not? Is basically your choice. I actually haven't played with this one, so it will be something that we add to our list of things to be testing. If it will still let you go into spec in the creative plot world, if it's forcing your game mode. That will be an interesting one to find out. Keep spawn in memory. If you are having trouble with lag on your servers, then you want to turn this to false. So right now, in a normal Minecraft world, the spawn chunks are always loaded. This is true for multiverse worlds as well. In another dimension, the spawn chunks are always loaded. So if you're having trouble with lag, try turning that off. Changing this to false. So you need to be careful what world you choose to do that in, because we want to keep it true for the world, but we probably don't want it to be true for the end, the nether, and any other worlds that we would create. Like right here, the mining nether. We'll probably end up turning that off. Have to pop out real. Have a great stream the rest of your day. Probably see you on ISV this evening. Alright, we'll see you later, Sturm. Have a good day. Katie, thank you for the epic vampire on the battlefield. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom, because your newest created worlds are always going to be at the bottom. And we're just going to say... spawn in memory false on all of our things. This is another thing too, is you can charge an entry fee to be able to enter a world. So if you're using some kind of economy system and some kind of economy plugin, you can charge people to enter a certain world. So if you want to enter the super awesome mining world, it's going to cost you X amount of whatever currency you're using. So we don't usually use that, and we don't even usually use the like hunger and auto heal, except for in map world on ISV. I might try doing something like this for my patron world. Trying an economy system, doing a shopping district plugin, a shopping plugin instead of doing the shopping district the way it is. So that way there's no worry of like underpayments or theft or anything like that. Like, I would really love to start looking for some kind of economy plugins and shopping plugins that we could use on my server instead, and just see how it goes. But I would also I would love to provide a trading hall world with villagers that are like no AI and who like have maybe not unlimited trades, but maybe, I don't know. So a lot of trades before they lock up, if they lock up at all, and where you don't even have to zombify them because all of their trades are set to 1. But I want it to cost you something to enter that world, to take advantage of those features. So I might end up using this. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. Again, this is something that I want to explore the limits of the plugin. This feels like sitting in on an engineering class to me. I know all the words and terms that are happening, but the overall content is baffling. Sorry, Mare. we're just piecing together how we want the world to work, you know? Because there are so many possibilities out there. Because Minecraft is like the ultimate sandbox game, and then you add in other things that people have created and things that people have created on top of other things, and you're just like, oh, this could be so cool. You could create your fully customized world and have fun with it, you know? And see, I feel like I'm Charlie Brown and Rilla is any adult in that show. Well, you know. A lot of these things we have also already configured when we first created the worlds. I think it was last week or the week before. I think it was the week before. So this is the creative world. On it's true. Spawn in memories false. Okay. Right there. False. But this is where you can come in and double check your settings too. If something seems off about the world itself, you can be like, okay, what did I break? Just go through and check your limits. Whenever you see something like this, by the way, it says player limit -1, you're like, doesn't that mean it wouldn't let any players into the world? -1 is like a default setting where it's either there's no limits or it's Minecraft default limits. So you could set it to like only 5 people are allowed in the trading hall world at a time or whatever. So brain go brrr. I know, right? Sometimes I do feel that way, especially when I'm trying to learn new things or learn a new plugin. It's like brain gets a little overwhelmed and full. And then there are other times, if I haven't done something in a while, it's almost like I have to relearn it all over again. But then once I get going on it, it triggers all the memories and everything comes back to me. Okay. So mining nether. We want to leave the end alone. Okay, world end. That's good. Alright. Close. So that's configs and worlds. Any new worlds that you add will get added to that worlds.yml, so you'll need to go through and make sure you set up your settings and stuff like that in there when you do the new world creation stuff. Multiverse Portals is pretty simple, straightforward, very small config, nothing to worry about. You just want to, double check you're enforcing your portal access. So if you have a world like the trading hall world that we talked about where it would cost somebody to get in, you want to make sure that they don't get that access unless they're allowed that access. But if you don't care, if you just want everybody to be able to access all portals at all times, you can set that to false and everybody will be allowed to go into the world. So you can also do this through Luckperms, where you just give everybody access to portals through Luckperms without even touching this. So, okay, that. This gives you a list of the current portals that exist, who created the portals, where it's located, where its destination goes to, and what world it ends up going to as well, and if there is an entry fee or not, of course. Lurking, trying to figure out some sort of palette for the B&B. All right, no worries, Ruby, thank you. I appreciate the lurk. So, this is, if you're having problems with your portals and you need to manually remove them, like removing them in game isn't working, you can come in here and just delete them completely and that will remove it. So easy peasy for that one. Signed portals is something I haven't touched at all, and it's completely empty. So I don't know anything about sign portals. I assume that it's something where you can just punch a sign and it will send you somewhere instead of having to walk through an actual portal. And I kind of want to test to see which option is laggier, if that makes sense. Which option might be easier on a server. So we'll see. That's something that I want to play with, but apparently it doesn't have any configs yet because I haven't done anything with it yet. Do the pretty one. That's very helpful, Mare. I'm sure Ruby will absolutely do the pretty palette. Protocol Lib is another just like support plugin that's just needed for other plugins. It's for doing nerdy things in the background. It's not really anything that needs to be done there. Leave the defaults alone unless you really, really know what you're doing. I need to change my route home. I just found out that trees I usually walk by are Bradford pears. Why is that bad? Are you like allergic to pears or something? Or are Bradford pear trees like stinky or something? I can never get the plot visit command to work, so now I have to go searching. Ah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've looked into that, and I've even like searched their Discord, and I haven't been able to find anything yet. So hopefully it'll just be something that's a bug that eventually somebody gets fixed, and we update it, and it'll start working again. I don't know. They smell like fish when they're blooming. Ooh, that does not sound delicious. Leaf decay config is very, very simple as well. You can say that it only works in these worlds, so if you want to exclude it from the overworld, but you want it to work in your mining worlds, that's totally fine. You can say how long it takes it, how long it like pauses before it breaks all the leaves. How often it checks to see whether or not it should break leaves, and whether or not it will do the particles and the sounds of the leaves breaking. So you can also set it so that it will decay them one by one. So instead of just poof, all of them disappearing, it'll just go one at a time, but very quickly. So that's another thing you can do. I'm not gonna touch it for now. We might fiddle with it later as we set up mining worlds and start testing our limits on some things. Let's see. Vanilla tweaks is also something I haven't worked with myself that I want to. This is something that other mods are in charge of on ISV, but I mean, like, it's got Coordinates HUD. We could probably get rid of Info HUD if we have Coordinates HUD here. But I don't know if Coordinates HUD lets you... Yeah, it doesn't... The reason why we like Info HUD is because it has a few more options to it. Whereas Coordinates HUD, it's one color, and so it can be hard if you live in a snowy biome, things like that. But I believe, yeah, right here, configs, and I think modules is what we would need to look at. Modules? Yes. So this is where you would turn on and off each of the different parts of the pack. So if you want larger phantoms, you can turn that on. If you don't want anti-Enderman grief, you can turn that on or off. Like, it should all be in there. Right now, everything by default is turned off, so we'll only go through and pick... I kind of want to do Confetti Creepers. It will pick, we can go through and pick which ones we want turned on. This is basically taking vanilla tweaks, the data packs, and made them into plugins so that they would play nice with paper servers. Because the data packs don't play nice with paper servers. Like, it causes a lot of lag. So... all good, I found it. Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay. Let's just go through this and see which ones we do want. Confetti Creepers. I really don't know what that is, so I'm kind of curious. Vanilla tweaks. happy.
Fascinating creatures, phoenixes.
So that would be what, under mobs? They have a count mob stuff. Is that in the big here as well? It is. I wonder if we could use this for our kill counter. Confetti Creepers just makes pretty confetti instead of boom boom creepers. Purely visual. Do they still do the... Oops, didn't mean to close that. Do they still do the like explosion? They still grief your area? Still grief, yes. Okay. So we can allow silencing of mobs. We can turn on the mob heads dropping, so you wouldn't have to have a completely separate data pack for that. Dragon drops. So this would be dragon drops, elytra, and eggs. I'm kind of torn on this one because on the one hand, you want people to experience Minecraft, to go out and get their wings. But when you start getting a large server, you have to find solutions for that. But I don't anticipate like my patron server being that hard to go find wings, but on the other hand, it's really nice just to fight the dragon to get an extra pair of wings. We'll turn it to true for now, and we'll see what the dragon drops config says, if it can just drop a dragon egg or something. No, let's just change it. No, we're gonna leave it. Because you could also do it so if the dragon has been defeated, like, and then like you wait 30 days into the server, and then you enable dragon drops. You know, you don't do it at the start, just do it later in the season. So the smoke, like TNT, it's like fireworks. Yeah, that's true, Phoenix. And it depends on how easy you want it to be too. Like, do you want it to be that easy to get wings? You just kill the dragon? Go for it. I want to see what this count mob deaths thing is though. We'll try that. We do want double shulker shells. We do want player head drops. We've already got info HUD, so we're not doing coordinates HUD. Player graves. So, me personally, I hate losing my stuff. But I've accepted it as just kind of like a part of Minecraft. Be careful, right? Or you might end up losing your stuff. Keep a set of backup gear. But I also know a lot of people who, like, they hate losing their stuff, and like they will quit the game if they lose their stuff. So there's two ways you can handle that. One is keep inventory true, so when they die they just keep all their stuff. Or graves, where they still have to go get their stuff, but it's not going to despawn on them. Oh, hi CK! How's it going? I need to get you hooked up with V code. Okay. You call a dragon fight easy? I mean, relatively speaking. You don't have to go adventuring and searching and crossing the void. I'd love a grave if he is on her way to work. We're gonna enable it just because. Track raw stats. That would be interesting. Persistent head data. So this means that if you placed a head, it would keep the data, assuming it would keep the data of the person, like who it belonged to and who killed the person it belonged to. That could be useful. It wouldn't lose its tags, I guess. I'd be willing to do more fun things like actually flying in the nether if we had graves, even with netherite gear. Yeah, see, a lot of people like graves. It takes all the fear of losing your stuff out of it. Like, you still died, it's still inconvenient, you still have to go get it, but at least your stuff isn't going to despawn. So, yep. Grave, I feel, is partway between despawn and keep inventory. Exactly. Yep, we'll turn it on, no worries. Spawning spheres, meh. Maybe? What is spawning spheres? Isn't that just showing you a sphere? Allows you to view the spawnable area around a center point through a glowing sphere. Useful for proofing farms. Sure. Why not? I'm also considering allowing Lightmatica on my server because I know how useful it can be, especially for map making. But yes, also for making big, pretty things. So, we'll see. I know it has... That's not what I wanted to do. I know it has some cheaty aspects to it. I'm kind of okay with it because in the end, you get to decide on whether or not you want to use the auto placement features where you can place stuff in air. I think it's cheaty. I probably won't use it myself. Maybe I might use it for maps because it would be useful to be able to just place the stair step maps. But I honestly don't know if I really would. But I do like being able to work on a community project together that's elaborate and everybody can be on the same page. Like, everybody has the same schematic, and so we know where every single piece goes, if that makes sense. I just wish it didn't have the easy place thing. Like, keep everything else is fine. Get rid of the easy place setting. And it would be just fine. Okay, spawning spheres. True. Spectator conduit power? Okay, so that would make it so that you can see underwater when you're in spectate, I would assume. Yeah. Easily toggle conduit power when in spectator. Interesting. Custom villager shops allows you to easily set up villager trades in creative using a chest. What? You guys know how much time I have spent manually coding villagers? You're telling me I can just use a data pack to do it? I want to try it. I'm gonna try that. Not gonna worry with multiplayer sleep because it's a default thing now. Real-time clock, huh? But is that in-game or does it like attach to your actual time zone? Your own computer's clock? I also find set home to be useful. So I am actually willing to have that on my server for people to be able to have one home that you can teleport back to. My issue with it is that it can be used to escape certain death. So if you accidentally aggro piglins in the nether, or zombie piglins, you can just be like, nope, home, and you're out. Your get out of jail free card or whatever. So maybe it's not a tick-related clock. Oh, okay. I'll enable it and we'll just play around with it and see what it is. AFK display might be interesting. Armor statues? No, I prefer the armor stand editor tool thing rather than the book. I think it's more intuitive. Ken says I'm just shooting in the dark here. Yeah, but I like that thought, and that makes sense, so it's worth looking into. My favorite data pack on Vanilla Tweaks is the quick chopping axe that saves so much time. Ah! Yes, that I'm totally willing to do. Kill empty boats, rotation wrenches. That's something I want to play around with too. They are super useful. Durability ping, let's also get that one. Because I'm pretty sure I didn't install the durability ping plugin. There is a Wandering Trader plugin that we could install, but I'll leave it alone for now. Pillager Tools? What is Pillager Tools? It's experimental? Oh, look, there's the Confetti Creepers right there. Oh, is that timber? Trees can be instantly chopped with any axe in survival mode. Aha, that's cool. Insta-mining trees, huh? Let's see. Cauldron concrete, that's cool. Drop concrete powder into a cauldron filled with water to instantly harden all of it. That's cool. Oh, real-time clock right there. Adds a trigger that allows you to view how long a world has been running in real-time minutes and hours. Ah, that's what it is. Okay. Pillager Tools. Allows you to disable bad omen patrols or patrol leaders separately. Ah, okay. Meh. What do you guys think of this one, too? Armored Elytra. It lets you wear a chest plate and your Elytra at the same time. I mean, it's totally not vanilla and overpowered, but what do you guys think? Ooh, not as good, yeah. Agreed. Going through it one more time. They have nether portal ports, but they don't have custom nether portals. I wonder if there's any functions in the custom nether portals data packs. We could install it. I would love to have nether portals of any shape. I think that would be super cool. Ah, it does have a function. It says so right there. Slash function custom nether portals config. I wonder how bad it would be for the server. Because if it only runs once when you first set up the nether portal, then it's probably going to be okay. But if it's a constantly running function, that's not going to work. No wrong person to ask. I will also defer to default, right? I feel like armor and elytra should have a limit, like only leather, chain, or gold chest plates that can be worn with an elytra. Okay, so we would have to see if there's a config for that. Because from this, it doesn't look like it, because it says drop elytra and a chest plate above an anvil to merge them into one. Drop the item above a grindstone to separate them again. Enchantments are kept safely between merging and separating. Burning netherite armored elytra will keep the chest plate but burn off the elytra. So it sounds like you could do any armor, but I don't know if it would be configurable to specific armor. Maybe he had that on his server, it seemed fine. I mean, we can try it. Like, the whole point of this particular server is to test things that I would want to have on my patron server. So we can try the Armored Elytra, see what it has, and we can try the data pack for the custom nether portals. So let me add that. Data pack from the So it's not available in this plugin, but it is available through the data pack itself. Okay, let's get this going. Oof, I think we had fewer people this time than we did last time. Whoopsies. Guess we'll see. I mean, we have a couple of epics, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Hey, it just might be enough. Yeah, should be enough. GG, y'all. We done did good. Huzzah! Let's see. Grats, Katie, on your extra scroll. We're gonna hop into our next level here. We're done with the fire. We're now at the, I guess, Earth area. And we'll see that screen again in 30 minutes. This will be our last battle for today. So we will need to head out in about 45 minutes or so to go get the car from the shop. Which is why I had to start early, and now I'm going to be ending early as well. I am going to take a quick break though, because I am out of water and I need water. So I will be right back. I do have a new Be Right Back screen that's going to show you some of my most viewed clips on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I will be right back. For example, assistant. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Monday we are updating the server to 1.16. We will not be like, whoa, hi, what on earth is going on? Y'all are not here to hide diamonds at my base, right? Thank you for the fireworks, but what are y'all doing here? Ooh, a map. Oh my gosh. I love it. Here to help with the base, but I wasn't gonna work on my base today. Very, very cool. And I think this is going to be a little bit of like a garden area with a big feature tree right there that's still a work in progress by Miss Echo. And we're not going to talk about this build because, you know, some certain mods that have way too much to do have not been building. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Sorry, Cal. I promise I will build it. It will get done. Just, yeah, I'm sorry. I did it! Oh my gosh! I did it! I've never done that before!
Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay.
If I can pick you up on this side, I will.
Yike. Thanks for the ride out of town.
Yeah. This is your Uber.
Mm-hmm.
More, but...
Oh, I gotcha. You were gonna try and sing for us. Okay.
Well, actually, I think we have to be on the karaoke map for you to even try. Okay, whatever, we'll try. Sexy Reinhardt! Oh yes, here we go! Move your legs and move your arms, that is how you do the dance! Ha ha ha!
Oh my god. That was great. This pie. That is terrifying. I haven't seen this. Like, I installed the mailbox, but this wasn't here. Ah! No! No! That is so wrong. It's wrong sick. It's sick and wrong. Or efficiency 5. Okay, he's nodding. Or looting 3. Got it? Yeah, he understands. Okay, here's the hard part. It needs to be a reasonable price. And by reasonable, I mean around 20 emeralds. Oh, he's giving me the stare. I'm not getting a nod. Ruh-rohs. Ah, quick charge. All that for nothing. Missed out on the chance to give them the jump boost and the speed. You know, surprise zoomies and all. It's almost as if I were a dolphin. Alas. Also hoping Goo is still around. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. Oh, somebody clip that for Goo and just tag him on my Discord. Because that is adorable. Goo's like, I have the dirt! Busty's like, no! And Phoenix is just facepalm. That is amazing. He just wants the dirt. He doesn't want the Easter eggs or the basket or anything. He wants the dirt. That's adorable. GG, Ruby.
Gave you a little jolt.
Yeah, so we missed philosophy hour of the stream. Do you guys want to philosophize?
What are we doing again?
Philosophize.
Oh my.
Philosophize.
I'm just not even gonna say it 'cause Richard too. It's fine.
I don't know if... Oh gosh, Phoenix. You trying to type it was like the best. Okay, you brat. You didn't. You did. I have 43 levels, ABK. 43 levels. This is what he does to me. He's like, you should wear the rabbit head for the rest of stream. And I'm just like, okay. And I don't even check it. Friggin' troll. You know I'm gonna get you back for this, right, ABK? I know you're asleep right now. Somebody clip this for ABK because this is war. Oh my gosh, what are those? Enchanted creepers, blow them up. No! Okay.
If I had to pick a favorite clip.
I love how you just like emptied all of your arrows into them.
What? It looks scary.
Oh my gosh. I hope somebody clips that.
They looked scary, okay? But just...
Pew pew lasers. Hi! Did you guys like the clips? I'm so glad I got that working. Memories, babies, yes, yes. All the good clips. Yep. There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay. I will have to end stream when we finish our last battle, because the place called and said the car is done, and woot. But they close at 5:30, and it takes us 20 minutes to get there. Because of construction. So we have to go all the way around to get there. It would normally take us like 10-15 minutes to get there, but now we have to go all the way around. I only got to listen to them. Sassy decided to sit on my phone during most of the clips. No worries. So good, I love those memories. How do you guys like the new video playing in the background too, with the little knights going by? I saw that and I was like, I want it. So I got it. Well, the sun's starting to
come in my window too, so it's like backlighting me. There was another one that was showing a helmet that looks almost exactly like how I picture my character's helmet to be. It kind of like this. It was just a helmet sitting on the ground there. And, but it doesn't loop very well because it just pans across several different helmets, starting with that one. And then it stops. So I guess I could have it go backwards, maybe. So it would pan back and forth, but I don't know. I like the Knights one better with the treasure chest and stuff. Okay. We were doing things here. We double checked this, so we're gonna save and close. So then we'll have to go through each of these and see what the configs are. Each of the ones that we enabled. Get durability ping. So that's interesting. I'll bet you it pings you regardless of the tool that you're using, which can be good and bad. Like, if you're doing a wooden tools challenge and you've enchanted all of your wooden tools, it would be good to know if it was about to break. But if you're not, it would be kind of annoying. We'll see how it works. We'll leave them mostly at defaults. Well, pets, I wonder... Oh, it doesn't require player kills, so they could be killed by a farm and still drop heads. So you could tell it to require that a player kill them. Player grapes. Ah, so you could tell it not to work in certain worlds. So that would make sense. If you had a creative plot world and someone was killing themselves in that plot world for a purpose or for a reason, you wouldn't want it to generate a grave. So that's good. Back. Did I enable set home? I don't think I did. I'm actually kind of curious what the configs are. Oh, so we can set multiple homes. Ah, so you could just allow people to just have one home. Okay. I'll have to think about that one. That one's a tough one for me because it is very, very useful, especially when your world gets very large. But my world isn't all that large. It's only 5,000 blocks in every direction, which I guess is kind of large, but, you know, large-ish. But it's not like ISV. Don't have tag. Have that. Wrenches. Suggest resource pack. We'll say false. We don't want it to have to download a resource pack. I guess that's it. Okay. Maybe it has more configs we can do in-game in the in-game menus. Maybe. We'll find out. We can also go to the Spigot page and see if there's more documentation about it. See what else we need to do with that. Okay, world edit. It's not really anything we need to do here. I usually leave all things at default because defaults. You can set it so that you put limits on what it can do and how far it can go, but like the only person using it's going to be the operators and they'll bypass the limits by default anyways, so super pickaxe. That would be fun. Could do that for our own version of a mod coin redeem, right? Let people get a super pickaxe. I once played on a server that would do stuff like that. So if you had been on the server for a year, you would get like super special items that could, like, they had a super pickaxe that would carve out a 9x9 area. If you broke the center, it would break the blocks all around it too. So that was fun. And then add on your birthday month. So if you just told them my birthday's in December, they would take all the birthdays for that month and you would get a backpack, and you would get an extra slot in the backpack for every birthday year that you were on the server. So that was kind of cool too. I thought it was a neat little thing that they would do on that server. So you got access to a backpack command when you first joined the server with one slot, and then you would get an additional slot for your birthday. So I want one. Is it as good as the builder? I have no idea. CK. I've never played around with the settings for world edit. World Guard has some things that we can do here. Okay. In our main config, it has some things you can do here. I would go through them individually and just decide which ones you want to go through, which ones you want allowed and not allowed, and things like that. You can set some of your flags here. It does have some security settings that are useful. So if you want it to de-off everybody when they join, so they have to log into console on the website to be able to off themselves in game, you can set that up. Op permissions, true. You couldn't disable op permissions if you want to as well. You can change the messages that it gives people if they're not permitted to do something in an area. You can change this to nope, 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 nope if you want. Instead of saying, sorry, you're not permitted to do that here. That's boring. Just say nope, 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 nope. You can enable or disable which things it can and can't stop from happening. All that good stuff. We're just going to leave it at defaults for now. Is that it? Did we reach the bottom? We did! Awesome! So that's it for configs then. We'll have to go through Luckperms next, but we can't do that in the 12-13 minutes that we have. I mean, we can kind of start to go through it, but it's going to be like quick and dirty instead of thorough and in-depth. So let's do this. LP editor. That will bring up a link for you to click on. You can do this all in-game, but the editor just helps it and makes it visual. It helps you to see what's going on in a more user-friendly format. So you can also look at existing permissions and things like that. So right now we have these groups right here. We've talked about this a little bit before. We have admins, we have staff, we have subscribers, and then your default group, which everybody is a part of. So the only thing that we really have is the MV bypass. So right now we're saying that even if a multiverse world says they have to be in survival or says they have to be in creative, this lets them bypass that, so they will stay in whatever game mode they are currently in. So this is one of the first things that we do here. You didn't say the magic word. I like that. That's a good one too. If it can make a 256 by 256 hole in the ground, I want it. Fair enough, CK. Me too. Do I get to keep all the materials though? That's the hard part. Because I'm a hoarder and I need stuff. So what we want to do is start working on our perms for the world. So let's say, let's do an MV list here. We have our world, our end world, our mining nether, our regular nether, our mining world, and a creative world. Let's say we want to lock that creative world so that only admins and staff can go in. That's a lot of materials. It would be a lot of materials. So to do that, so right now, only operators can use this portal, right? This portal goes to the place with things. Boop. Ta-da! Yay, mining world. We have no portals to any other worlds at the moment, but we have this one world and we're going to create a like staff only creative world. So let's do that this way. We'll probably have to label these two. Here, let's get a sign. This is mining world. This will be creative world. Creative world, staff only. All right, so we're gonna build this portal real quick. I'm gonna go Multiverse Portal create. We'll call it staff creative entry. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go MVTP creative. I have to remember what the world was called. Good thing the list was right there. All right, cool. Looks like we need to do some settings changes here too. So let's make sure that we're at the center. So we're gonna go 0, tilde 0. And then we're going to go ahead, enable. Make sure we are facing north. We're gonna walk a few steps forward, like 5 blocks. We're gonna go MV portal, so MVP, modify dust here. Perfect. Now we're gonna go back to center. Good enough. We're gonna go that one and that one. We're gonna go MVPC. This is creating a portal, and we're gonna call this one. What did I call the other one? Hold on. MVPC staff creative exit. Okay, and now we're gonna go MVTP world. We want this to drop us here at the world center. We don't want it to drop us in front of that. We want all of our portals to drop us here at world center. So we're gonna go back up and go modify dust here. Okay, so that should do it. Nope. That takes us here. Perfect. And that puts us back. Perfect. Can you make me one of them portals that uses a pressure plate? I don't think so, CK. I can make it look like you used a pressure plate because I could put a pressure plate like right here on the inside of this portal. And so it'll look like when you stepped on the pressure plate you would walk through. There we go. Walk back through. Just the one block. I think it has to be the block that your head goes through for it to recognize it using this method anyway. Okay, so now we've got to do our LP editor again because it doesn't show that this world is where this portal was created. We're gonna do that. We're gonna say yes. We're gonna close the other one. we're going to go to our groups and we're going to go click on our staff. And our staff group only has the display name and the weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to add permissions, and we're going to type in multiverse.portal.access. And if we did .star, that lets them access any portals. You can access any portals that we want staff to access. But what if we want like an admins only area as well as a staff area? So let's just say we're only going to give them access to these two portals right here. It should autofill, but if it doesn't, you would just have to do .access and then the name of the portal. So we're going to give them access to this, and it's going to be for both. Unless you want people to be able to walk into a world and not be able to walk out of it. So make sure you do both the entry and the exit portal. And once you've got those in, you click this button behind me. You can kind of see it like it's over my shoulder right there. Right there, we say add node, and that puts it up here. And then we want to make sure that they also have access. Multiverse.portal.access to the mining worlds as well, because they are staff. Then we're also going to come to the default group over here and give them access to the mining world portals, but not the creative world portal. Access, portal.access. Mining entry, mining exit, add. So that should be it. Right here, our admin group, we don't actually need to add that because they are also a part of group staff. So any permissions that the staff group has, the admin group will also have. So we don't need to worry about adding them for the admins. The other thing we want to do right here, we want to add the subscribers group to add the subscribers group to the default group so that any permissions that the default group has, subscribers will also have. So we're gonna go group.default. Add that. We want that same to be true for our staff as well. So if we do this, we can then remove these two right here. So they don't need to have the mining world portal access because they'll have it already through the default. Now you can separate this. So if you have kingdoms, for example, Ruby's world, Ruby's server, if each of our kingdoms had their own world that they can go into that's completely protected and no one's allowed to be in there but them, you would create 3 separate groups for each of the 3 kingdoms, and you would give them only them access to these things. You don't have to, have this tiered groups things going on. And we can hit apply, and we'll go back in game and we can see that all of these changes were applied. So now let's say you have something like a mod coin system like ISV has, and you wanted to just grant certain people access to certain things. So let's say we wanted to have a group for our wings. We can do that. So wings group. We're going to add the wings group. We're going to say group.default. They're part of the default group, so they make sure that they still get all of those permissions. We are also going to say that they get to use the custom wings commands. So let's say right here you can say they only get access to these wings. You can also say that they get access to all wings. Whenever you see a star at the end, like this one right here, this gives them access to all commands related to that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say they can have whatever wings that they want. We're going to let them set wings. We're going to let them. I don't know what wings.command is going to do exactly, so we're not going to do that one until we know what it does. But then we're just going to add that, and we're going to apply that. Now, to add the person to this group, because right now everybody's just going to be in the default group, but they'll show up here once they've logged in. They'll show up in your users list, and you can click on them and you can add a parent group here. So staff, subscribers, wings, because I'm not part of any of those groups, those are the ones that show up that I could add to myself. The other way to do it is you don't have to open up the LP editor. You can just do it in game by going LP for Luckperms, and then you go user, you put in the username, and then it prompts you, which is very helpful. But we're going to go parent add, so we're adding them to a parent group, wings. So now I have access to all of the wings in every world. Now let's say we wanted to limit that, like you could only use the Bloodhound wings if you're in the Nether. I can show you guys how to do that real quick, and then we'll do the battle. So if we go into wings, we can do this, where you bring up your wings, your custom wings. Bloodhound was the set of wings that we want them to be able to use. I'm gonna add that. And then over here on this side, there's a context. So if you click on that, and right underneath here, let me just turn off my face cam. Boop. You click add context right here. Your key is how you want to limit this permission. So we're gonna say world, and then we're gonna say world nether. And we're gonna add that context. So now they'll only be able to use this custom wing in the world nether. That's kind of cool. It's how you can limit things in a very particular, in-depth, detailed way. So when you have plugins like Discord SRV ties in with Discord and the game, you can say if they have this Discord role, they can only use these sets of wings. So then you can even set up, like Ruby's Kingdoms at War server, you could even set it up so that each kingdom gets their own set of wings that's a certain color, you know, and they can display their colors while they're in game by wearing these wings. So that's kind of cool, because you give them the Discord role in your Discord server of being in this kingdom, and it will control all their permissions. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys how to do that one. That will be next week though. I wanted to do it this week, but I didn't have time to like pre-set it up so that I can walk you guys through how to do it in a coherent fashion. So we'll do that next week. Woo, that's a lot of people. All right, let's get this battle started, and then we are going to have to find somebody to raid, because I have to go. I gotta go pick up my car. Let's pull open Twitch while we're going through this battle. Oh my gosh, look at those zoomies. Let's see. Kajiro is streaming Among Us, so if you guys want to go say hi to Kajiro, we'll send it on his way. Otherwise, Tango Tech is streaming Minecraft. I'm sure that you guys can go see. Oh, is Perry streaming? Hold on. Is he streaming Minecraft? Oh, he's streaming Factorio. We'll send it over to Perry. We haven't raided Perry in like ages. Ken and Max, grats on your extra stuff. We will see this screen again next time we play, which will be on Friday. Not sure if Oz is going to be able to play with us or not, so I don't know if we'll be doing challenge mode or if we'll be doing ISV. But either one of those, that'll be the next time we play. We'll send the raid on over to the Perry. Show him some love. I'm sure he would appreciate the follows. And I've never heard of the game that he's playing, so I'll be kind of interested to see what that's all about while I'm rushing out the door. So, alrighty. CSCH Wars is streaming on ISV. Makeshift Dragons is on the... Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Well, we'll send it over to Perry because we haven't raided Perry in a long time, but I'll keep that in mind as someone we can raid in the future if he streams on Wednesdays. I can send the raid over to him. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me on our like AMA how to set up a server type exploration stream that we do on Wednesdays. I am looking forward to doing more of these. It's interesting to me. I find it fun and exciting. It's just I don't know. It's just a different kind of stream for me, and I find that I'm actually really enjoying it. See, look, we're already 50% done with Chunky. That was probably what, like an hour and a half for a 5K world. So yeah, about 3 hours. So that's what you can expect to do then in the future. All right, we'll send it on over to Perry. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a good day, night, or whatever it may be for you. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.